So a lot of people come on my channel and they comment that same old rhetoric. They normally say, there's only one race, the human race. Now here's the thing. Firstly, human is not a race. It's a species, and races are subcategories of the human species. You'd actually be surprised how many people actually get this wrong. But it's understandable because a lot of people refer to us as the human race. So I understand why people get that wrong. It's like some stupid miseducation. Now, the only people who say we're all the same are those who are trying to silence the truth. Now, this video isn't about race or differences in that way. It's about something else. I was having a debate with a white guy a few days ago when he said, but we're all humans. I said, well, technically, that's not completely true. Black people who are from Africa, let's talk more like about African people. People who were born in Africa and all of their ancestors are from Africa and their ancestors never left the African continent, they are 100% Homo sapien. Now, you know what a Homo sapien is? Homo sapien is modern day human. Now, whilst white people, they're not actually 100% Homo sapien. They have anywhere between 2 to 9% Neanderthal DNA. So this white guy got really offended by my statement. But this statement is not in any way false or meant to offend. It's just simply based on me being a stickler for facts and knowledge. This statement was based on a new evidence and research from white anthropologists. So if you're going to get mad at me for stating facts, you then have to go and get mad at all these scientists and anthropologists too. Because there's this little new evidence from anthropologists that some people seem to be oblivious to, that Caucasians or white people have anywhere between 2 to 9% Neanderthal DNA. This is now the school of thought that all anthropologists are sticking to based on genetic studies. You know how it goes. Studies and research changes all the time, but this is what they're sticking to now, and they've been sticking to it for the last couple of years. So a human is also known as a Homo sapien. Based on newfound studies, Caucasians are in fact only part Homo sapien. The Homo sapien was in fact black in skin color, while Neanderthal was white. What anthropologists state happened is Homo sapiens discovered Neanderthals in the Caucasus Mountains when they branched out of Africa. These two separate species copulated and created what is known as the modern day Caucasian. For those of you that don't know what copulated means, it means they had sex, alright? This is why you may have heard some brothers and sisters refer to white people as a mutation of black people or coming from black people. They're saying Homo sapiens mated with Neanderthals, and the offspring was this hybrid of the two, and as time has gone on, the Neanderthal DNA has diluted a little. But it's the Neanderthal DNA that gives white people their straight thin hair, their lack of melanin, and so forth.
Yo family, what's up man? It's your boy Dion Lundy. In this video, I'm gonna answer the question, are Africans the original people? Man, okay, I'm just gonna go on the record. This is gonna be a quick video, but I'm gonna go on the record and say this, man. Bro, I'm so sick of all this racial glorification stuff, man. Every race is trying to make themselves better than everybody else, you know what I'm saying? During the days of slavery, see, the white people of that day, they wanted to make themselves better than the black people by saying the black people came from monkeys. Again, we're not blaming, white people living today. That's not your fault. You had nothing to do with that. We're not blaming, you. But we're just talking about just what happened in history. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, the white race wanted to exalt itself by basically debasing, the black race. You know what I mean? Saying that we evolved from monkeys. Okay, today, pretty much the exact same thing is going on, except it's now reversed. You know what I'm saying? People are saying that black people are the original people and white people came from monkeys. You know what I'm saying? It's just the roles of racism reversed. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the white people, looking down on the black people, it's the black people looking down on the white people. And at its heart, this argument comes from it has the same root. You know what I mean? Because there is, unless one is talking about, like the whole theory of evolution and all that kind of stuff, there's no scientific argument, to support, the fact that, black people, were the original people. That's that's like spiritual theory. You know what I mean? Now there is an evolutionary argument that says that, life began in Africa, but what it means by life, it means, microorganisms, slime, and evolution, and somehow we went from a blob of goop into a human being. You know what I'm saying? But see, the same people who will use that as an argument that life began in Africa, they don't believe in the theory of evolution. So it doesn't make sense to try to use that as an argument. So let me quickly address it from a Christian perspective. From a Christian perspective, did life begin in Africa? Okay, this is the Christian answer. Who cares? Who cares if Adam and Eve were on the African continent or the European continent? That's completely irrelevant because all human beings descended from those two people. So therefore, that doesn't make the Africans greater than everybody else because all humans descended from the same two people. So first off, I want to say to Christians, don't be deceived by that. Look, and here's the thing. There are new religions are emerging, and their primary bait is this. People people are more attracted to what makes them feel good and superior. People are more attracted to those ideas. The Bible talks about how in the last days men were going to have itching ears, so that they constantly flock towards the things that make them feel good, those things that tickle the ears, you know what I'm saying, that sound good. And that is exactly what we see going on today. Again, that was the argument that was used, you know, to support slavery, that black people were less than white people. That was the argument used, you know what I'm saying, in the days of the ancient Egyptians, when they enslaved the Hebrews, the Israelites. You know what I mean? They thought that they were better than the Hebrews, therefore they enslaved them. Whenever there is one race that considers itself better than another race, the race that considers itself better cannot help but to debase the race below it. That's just human nature. And that is why I am so vehemently against any kind of racial glorification that tries to prop itself above others. Because again, it's a slippery slope. And the vast majority of these new age religions that I see coming about, they play into the racial narrative somehow. And it always involves one race, you know what I'm saying, something special about this one race above all the other races. And I'm just gonna be straight up. And I have never seen this more potent in any other culture than it is in the African American culture. Because it's like there are so many forms of black spiritualism, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got one group of black people saying that, you know what I'm saying, they are the Jews, you know, and you know, they are God's chosen people. Then you got another group of black people talking about, you know, the pyramids and how you know, the white man actually, you know, was created in a laboratory. Dude, that's a real belief. There are people out there who say that black people created white people in a laboratory. I mean, like, and I'm just so sick of all of this type of racial glorification stuff, because I see it entrapping so many enlightened minds. Jesus said, if the light that a man has really be darkness, how deep is that darkness? And that is exactly what I see going on in this generation. These people, they get all of this weird and crazy information that makes them feel good about themselves in one manner. You know, either you know, it says, you know, black people are the greatest, or white people are the greatest, or women are the greatest. You know, women, I've heard that too. Women are God. God is a woman. I mean, like, it's all of this stuff that plays into personal pride, you know what I'm saying? Again, it's the tickling of the ear. Everyone wants to have their ear tickled as opposed to hear the truth. But yeah, so anyhow, to answer the question, did life begin on Africa? Who cares? That answer is completely unimportant, because all humans came from the same two people. I'll see you guys in the next video.
It's the Dion Laney Show. Don't act like you don't know. Trying to keep it real. So I'm just trying to keep it real. So much you gotta say. So much I gotta say. What's happening today? I'ma let you know just how I feel.